In the final round,
the audience choice ingredient,
Bud Light.
And here we go.
Looks like Chef Dubois is emulsifying the Bud Light into a foam. What's his competitor doing?
He appears to be having a really good time.
A Bud Light reduction for Dubois. And his opponent?
Also improvising nicely. Let's see that again.
Judges.
I like the use of the pressure cooker to tenderize the beef.
But also the use of the cell phone to order the pizza.
It's the sure sign of a good time. It's just right taste of Bud Light. Here we go.
Sorry, Chef, we're gonna need more ingredient.
From Buffalo Wild Wings, this is the Jeff Fisher Show, brought to you by Super Park, Spirit Toyota Scion, and Bud Light.
Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings and Creve Coeur. This is the Jeff Fisher Show alongside the head coach and DeMarco Farr. I'm Steve Savard. And, Coach, we talked about your next opponent, Seattle, playing tonight. You can't help but glance over at the television, see if it's if they've kicked off. Give me your perspective on the blessings, the downside of playing Monday Night Football and taking a team on the road following a Monday night game. Is it more difficult physically, more difficult for you to implement a game plan?
It's difficult physically. And, you know, there's some statistics out there that reflect the Monday night game itself. The West Coast teams, when playing East Coast teams, have a distinct advantage from a win-loss standpoint. I mean, it's like 72% because of the fact that the East Coast teams are playing so late. And so you got body clock issues. But, you know, it's difficult because of the motions associated with Monday Night Football and it being late. And then you have to deal with recovery. And then you have to guard against letdown. And then you have to, and of course, then you've got to travel. So
right.
That's difficult. So, you know, we're sitting here staring at a 10-day, 2-football game challenge where we've got Seattle coming in on a short week after Monday night, and we have Arizona coming in on a short week. And so we have to make sure we're doing everything possible to prepare ourselves for this 10-day block. Doesn't mean to say we're looking ahead to Arizona football-wise, but physically and emotionally you have to prepare yourself. And so that's what we discussed today.
You ever gone 2 in 10 days before?
Yeah, I mean, we've had Thursday night games before.
Yeah,
and it's a challenge.
Wow.
I mean, we've played the Detroit thing and the Dallas thing, and that's a challenge. But now everybody's going to do it, you know, or most everybody. Some of the games are going Thursday, and some of these guys some teams will come off of buys. But you know, it's like, you know, the Bears went Thursday. And then they had the weekend off and played us here yesterday. So they had 3 extra preparation days for us. And so, you know, it all evens out at the end. But this is a challenge for us. It's an opportunity for us because we go back-to-back in division games with both teams here at home.
Let's go back to the phone lines and welcome in Lewis from Blackjack. Lewis, your question or comment for the Rams head coach, Jeff Fisher.
Thanks for taking my call. DeMarco and Stevie, you guys are great on the radio. Just make the game a lot of fun. I really mean that. I just had a question about Brockers. I just got in the car, so unfortunately I always have to miss half the show. But I was just wondering if there's any updates. Does it look like he might play this week, or what's going on with him?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Yeah, I gave the update today, the press conference. Brock came with us on the trip, and we worked him out on the grass before the game, and he did really, really well. So we're resting him now. He will be on the practice field on Wednesday, and I'd say he's got a pretty good chance. He's feeling pretty good right now, which be huge for us up front.
Is this a guy? Has he in college? Did he deal with many injuries? Did he bounce back quickly? Was that not part of his? That's not part of his resume.
No, but he's ahead of schedule. With the significance of this high ankle, he's ahead of schedule.
Is he chomping in the bit?
Yeah, he's ready to go.
That's what you want.
Yep.
All right, let's go back to the phone lines and welcome in another Lewis from St. Peter's. Lewis, your question or comment for Jeff Fisher?
Yes, I would like to address Coach Fisher into our red zone offense as to the schemes we run and why we simply cannot get past, you know, in that end zone, basically at all. We stalled at 20, down to 20, and it's kind of confusing.
Well, we got in the end zone against Detroit. We got in the end zone last week against Washington. We did not get close this week. So, that was a problem. That's, you credit the defense. We had an opportunity to catch a ball inside the 5-yard line and then cash it in, but it's still early. And Coach Schottenheimer last year, I think the Jets were number 1 in red zone efficiency offensively. So we've got the capability of doing it. We just have to get the opportunities and put the players in position where they can execute.
What do you think makes a great red zone offense? What do you have to be 60, 65, 70% in the red zone?
You got to have balance. You got to be able, you got to have a run threat, because then with that run threat and the commitment to run in the plus territory, then your passing game is open. You got one-on-ones that you can take advantage of. So that's it. And then you got to have a quarterback that makes good decisions. Sam, last week we had perfect thing called. Sam couldn't see, thought he had Danny in the back of the end zone, throws the interception to London Fletcher. So that was one opportunity that didn't work out for us. But we got it in there. We got it in last week, and we just didn't get close to the 20-yard line this week.
Conversely, there's a theory out there that it's actually easier to play defense in the red zone because your safeties don't have to work as far down the field. Is that true?
Not when you've got the likes of Brandon Marshall's outside. No, it's not. I thought our defense did a nice job scheme-wise, execution-wise, stopped the run and knocked down some passes, and forced field goals to keep this game close. But no, it's not. What happened? Most people are getting it. Are failing in the underneath coverage. The linebackers set up in the underneath coverage because the quarterbacks are snapping the ball out so fast. And big tight ends or good receivers will body up down there, and it's just a rope to the chest, and it's a touchdown.
You mentioned the big receivers. Cortland Finnegan, a couple of terrific plays, giving away 5-6 inches. The more we see of this guy, the more we're convinced, man. We know why you brought him to St. Louis.
Yeah, he's special. He puts himself in position to make plays because of his preparation. Both the interceptions the last 2 weeks, he was lined up to our defensive left and makes the play, makes a break before the ball's thrown to the defensive right. Now, he made the catch last week, almost overrun it. This one, he knew where the ball was going. He got in the air, he got the deflection. So.
I can't say he has a bad rep. But I don't think that's all there is to him, is that rep.
Well, he's got a rep.
He's got a rep, but he can play
football player.
Yeah. Reputation?
People talk about him they always show the Andre Johnson deal. And that's not all the Cortland Finnegan.
Did we talk about that? How many punches did he throw?
Zero.
Good. So we did talk about that. Yeah, and even Mike Ditka, we talked about that last week. Come on. So anyway, Mike Shanahan said he might be the smartest defensive player he's ever attacked before.
Wow. Is that right?
And yeah, he's a smart, gutsy, tough little player that makes plays.
And he doesn't ever seem to be hurt, Jeff. Another thing is being a pro, the guy's hurt. If you line up week in and week out, we talk about Chris Long and James Laurinaitis here. We've seen them play here for 4+ years. We don't not only not see them miss games, they don't miss practice reps.
No.
I mean, there's something special about that. If you're going to invest some money, you want the guy to be there and to be on the field.
They're really good athletes. In addition to that, they take care of themselves, and they can keep themselves out of difficult positions.
Yeah, because you've been in situations where you have a guy who has great talent, great potential, can't stay healthy. That's got to frustrate you as a coach.
Yeah, it does. It does. It just seems like they'll get past that type of player gets past one issue, and then the next issue comes up, and then there's another issue, and it gets frustrating. And that's the hard thing from a personnel standpoint, is at what point is the guy injury prone, or is it just been bad luck, and then he's going to be okay the rest of his career? You don't know.
We'll welcome in David to the Jeff Fisher Show. David's on the line from U City. Good evening, David.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Great, David. Thank you.
And I'm enjoying the show. I just got a question for Coach Fisher. Of course, you can attest to the last few years here in St. Louis, but it seems to me that the offense always seems to be behind, performance-wise, than the defense. And I'm wondering, is it because of the nature of the game, or just something here in St. Louis, or what's your take on between one side clicking faster than the other?
Well, I again, the past is the past. What we're trying to do is get all three phases to where they can consistently be productive and efficient and complement one another. And So, our defense the first 2 weeks gave up, 30 points a game? And so, I wouldn't say that our defense is ahead of our offense. Our defense played well and good enough for us to win. And then, we're dealing with some extraordinary circumstances on our offensive line, but we'll get that put behind us, and we'll get the run game going again, and we'll get Sam upright, and, we're going to make some plays.